abiding in the Word, and in the Spirit. The Gospel is not doctrine, because it is fertilized and animated by the Spirit. Welcome to our channel that compares themes from the Gospel and Franciscan sources. For a more complete overview of our human, cultural and spiritual proposal, we suggest you visit the website juvie.art. John 14 verses 15 to 21. The Gospel speaks of love for Jesus linked to the observance of the commandments, but with a strength and presence within, that of the envoy of Christ himself, the Paraclete Spirit, that protects us and moves in the spirit of the truth, that is, of the faithful love. Jesus replaces his commandments, that is, his own person, his values and beatitudes, to those of external custom. Also for Francis and Clare, the different expressions of love were infinitely more important than any code of rules, or ways of doing things, which one never really knows what double they conceal. In this way the Gospel reminds us that those who love the Son, they will be loved by the Father, and deeply inhabited by Christ, in the divine Spirit. Faced with difficulties, we can therefore proceed without letting ourselves be discouraged, but rather remain intact in the ideal, thanks to the Paraclete Spirit, called to our side to protect us in the humanizing dimension, and in the deep, which reduces evil to impotence. In his letter to the faithful, Saint Francis of Assisi expresses himself thus: those who do not want to taste how sweet the Lord is, and prefer darkness to light, refusing to keep God's commandments, they are cursed. Sources 186. The life of the poor man of Assisi, illuminated by Christ. It was light in the light. This was the way in which he infallibly foresaw also the fall of many, who seemed to be standing upright, as well as the conversion to Christ of many sinners. So it seemed that he was now contemplating the mirror of eternal light from up close, in whose wondrous splendor the eye of his spirit could see things physically distant as if they were present. Sources 1198. The new man, made such by grace, did the truth, reflected in his own works. In this way many began to recognize the truth of the doctrine, which the man of God preached with simplicity, and of his life. Some began to feel called to penance by his example, and join him in dress and in life, leaving everything behind. The first of them was the Venerable Bernard, who, made a participant in the divine vocation, he deserved to be the firstborn of the Blessed Father, first in time and in holiness. Sources 1053. In the footsteps of the Lord, the life of the Poverello became light as an altar Christus for the dark time in which he lived. His intellect, free from the dense fog of earthly things, he rose lightly to the celestial heights, and immersed himself purely in the light, thus irradiated by the splendor of eternal brightness, drew from the uncreated Word what echoed in the words. He was so inhabited by the Spirit of God, who, driven by his audacity, did not hesitate to favor the ministers of the Holy Word, as bearers of light and divine Spirit, and of the sacred commandments of the Most High. In fact, in the second life of Solano, it is stated, He wanted the ministers of the Word of God to devote themselves to sacred studies, and not be hindered by any other commitments. He said in fact that they were chosen by a great king to proclaim to the people the edicts they hear from his mouth. It is an office, he emphasized, worthy of reverence, and all must venerate those who exercise it. They are the life of the body, the adversaries of the demons. They are the lamp of the world. Sources 7:47. Only those who are pervaded by the Paraclete can reach such depths. In fact, in the letter to the faithful it is written, "Let us therefore love God and worship Him with a pure heart and a pure mind." For He Himself, seeking this above all other things, said, "True worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For all who worship them must worship in the spirit of truth." Sources 187. Ooh, how different we are today, we who, shrouded in darkness, are ignorant even of the necessities. Sources 640. Francis, transformed by the light, had fallen in love with it. His works attested to this, and made it the dawn of resurrection. The flashes of the word came to conform him to his specific connotation, to communicate to others the truth nailed to the cross, for the world to be redeemed, and realize the gift it had received. With the most brilliant rays of his life and his doctrine, he drew to the light those who lay in the shadow of death, like the rainbow that shines among the bright clouds, and bearing in himself the sign of the covenant with the Lord, he announced to men the gospel of peace and salvation. Sources 10:21. Whoever loves me will be loved by my Father. I will love him too, and I will manifest myself to him. John 14 verses 15 to 21. Thank you all for your kind attention. Please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our activities. If you liked it, leave a well done to support us. Subscribe, give your precious like, share with your friends, and feel free to comment. Thank you, join us, and see you soon.